I do think that, you have your hard infrastructure, the roads, the bridges, et cetera, but you also have to have the other pieces that really support doing infrastructure. So, for example, I look at 3 million women who've lost their jobs over the course of the pandemic. How do we get them back into the workforce at wages that they can take care of their families? We do that by training them up for these jobs for the future. The energy grid, for example, and all the green energy components that are in the infrastructure package are really important to where we're going in the 21st century. And so I actually applaud the Biden administration for thinking broadly about how we need to fix what we need to do now, but look into the future.
Yeah, Russell, I mean, the comments that we just played just now would speak to, I guess, the fact that there would be some, and we've certainly been talking about it for years, but that there could be some willingness to come up with a bipartisan legislation. But how likely do you think it actually is that that happens, given the fact that you have Democrats on one side, particularly that move past this and would like to see even more spending, and then, of course, you have Republicans and the GOP that want to cut it down? I mean, how likely is it that we actually see something that gets broad bipartisan support versus go into reconciliation?
I don't think it's likely at all. I think there's two problems. Number one, it's not an infrastructure plan. To the extent that you're replacing yellow school buses and having $400 billion in home health care, that's not infrastructure in this country. And secondly, the Democrats have put forward a pay-for that overturns a signature accomplishment of the last administration in hiking the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%. So, look, if this is going to go, it's going to be a straight Democrat party line vote. They're already having issues in the House, and my guess is they're going to have issues in the Senate.
Donna, I'll put the same question to you, especially given the fact that we know that this is the first part of a two-part plan, the second part involving more, quote-unquote, social infrastructure. How much can actually be passed through and by what means?
Well, look, first of all, I think that President Biden actually, opened the door last week when he said that he put a plan forward, but now it's time to negotiate. And so I think Republicans do need to come to the table with some ideas. But the reality is that in the House, there are some rules changes, for example, around congressionally directed projects. We know them as earmarks, where members will be able to identify projects in their districts. They know their districts better than others as a way to bring them to the bargaining table. And I think all of those strategies need to be used. And really, when you, repair the schools and the water systems and, replace the school buses, all of that stuff actually does count as infrastructure because it adds to the way that we think about how we need to improve our transportation systems and delivery systems for the next century, this century.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.